Here we are again this morning, folks. Listen, this is Tidbit for the Word. This is your brother Peter. We're in such an urgency in this day and age, in this world, to get the correct gospel across that it's so important that us who are called by the name of the Lord do not have time to sit around on our duffs anymore and not get something going. Now, this medium right here, the YouTube, is a way to get something going. If you are saved and if you are watching this, you need desperately to get going. You need to get going. If you have the ability to get on this machine and teach correctly and properly and do what God would have you do, if you are following God and not the flesh, you need to be passing it on. You need to pass it on daily. You need to get up early in the morning, get out of the house, go out, embarrass yourself, pass out tracts. People don't like it sometimes. Yesterday, I passed out lots of tracts, and as I was doing it, many of those people received with open arms. Thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much. And then I go to one table, which, by the way, when you do that, you need to be polite and nice, because you are interfering with that person's time, with either their loved one or someone at the table, and they don't want you coming over there and hounding them and bothering them. But I laid a tract down at a young man and a girl's table yesterday and said, I'd like to just, if you don't mind, pass this on. Neither one of them would touch it. I laid it on the table. They were very offended that I did that to them while they were eating. As far as they was concerned, I'm some kind of nut that invaded their place of solitude, and they came out. They didn't appreciate somebody coming along and doing that. Now, if they read the tract and they read that website and they get on it and find out that God is searching and seeking after them, God sent after them, and people don't like God to send after them. And so at first they fight that and they resist it. So you're going to have a lot of that. People aren't going to like you. They didn't like Jesus. Jesus said, if you follow me, people don't like me, they're not going to like you. If you think everybody's going to like you that you speak to, I find more and more and more resistance now in a lot of people. And they don't like me. They did like to get me out of there. And so if you do go in a restaurant and you are walking through and everything, be careful not to offend the people at the restaurant. The Bible said to be as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. And don't frequent that same restaurant so many times that you make them run you off. Do it carefully and very quietly and very nicely. And by the way, I give the people that served me the same thing, the tract too, and say, quietly, look, this is our church if you'd like to click on and see it, and this is our website for Tidbits from the Word if you'd like to click on and see it. And by the way, in that particular tract that I give to the a young person who's waiting on me has $1 bill in it. And one girl saw it yesterday, and she said, hey, I can't take this. I'm not allowed to take this. And I said, put the tract in your pocket. When you get home, you're allowed to take it out. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, put the tract in your pocket when you get home. Open it up and take it if you can't take it on the job. All right. So, if you'll do what you do and mean what you do and say what you do and live what you do and follow what you do, you're going to have a lot of people that don't like you, but you're going to have a lot of people that are searching, and they do love it, especially firemen, policemen, and those people who put their life in harm's way every day. You need to talk to them. Many of them aren't saved, and they could die because of the hazard of their job every time they go out. And so they're in a place of quicker death, perhaps, than some others. All right, let's get back into the Bible. Verse 20, for the creature was made subject for vanity, not willing, but by reason of him who hath subject in the same hope. This creature, this body was made, and it has vanity in it. Vanity and vexation of the soul and spirit. And when we cross over into the new with our spiritual life. We carry our spiritual life inside of this vanity body. This body's going to the grave. It's a temporary dwelling, if you please, on this earth. And when it's quickened or likened like Jesus was after going to the Father, then we're going to have a new body translated in. All right, verse 20. It said, for the creature was made subject. All right, verse 21. Because the creature itself, and we're in Romans 8, also shall be delivered from the bondage of the corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. Now we've come into the liberty of the children of God. Peter, you sin. You just sin. Peter, you just sin. So shut the machine off and quit preaching and do everything. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. I can't go by that. I can't say that. No, I got to say, Lord, I just sinned. Forgive me of that. Let me go and keep this machine on and keep going. All right. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of the body. Listen, every single solitary one of the disciples sinned as bad as Judas did. You say, what do you mean as bad as Judas did? Judas betrayed Jesus. But what the difference was between them and Judas is they said, forgive me, God, for this sin that I did. And Judas did not. He went out and hanged himself. Had Judas said, Lord, forgive me for betraying you, you know what? The Lord would have forgave him for betraying him. Just bang. Just like that. Been done. You say, is it that simple, brother? Yes, it is. Do you have to accept it? Yes, you do. Jesus said it. And I believe it. That doesn't make it a fact because Jesus said it and I believe it. What makes it a fact? Because he said it and it is a fact, whether I believe it or not. And so here we are. And this morning. And it said, for we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for it? This is, boy, where the rubber meets the road now. Hope is not seen, but the hope that we see is from what we seeth is what God does, not what we do. If we're going by what we see in ourselves, man, we're in bad shape. We're gonna carry a load that we can't carry. No, that load is never, ever, not ever gonna get smaller. It's always gonna get bigger. All right. But if we hope for that which we see, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth the infirmities, for we know what we should pray for as we ought. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And he that searcheth the heart knoweth what the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God. Okay, verse 27 and verse 26. This is where God takes over, and you and I fail. This is where you and I cannot go except God do the work. God's the one that cleanses. God's the one that makes us righteous. God's the one that cleans us up. Now, we're bringing the mind. What mind? He said, the mind of the Spirit. We're bringing the mind of the Spirit to the forefront. As the mind of the Spirit in you gets big enough, the mind of the flesh can come around and become subject to it. That I'll never, though. Paul said, I strive for that perfection. That thing that troubled Paul that he prayed 3 times over. God said, Paul, if I take that away from you, you know what you're going to think? You're going to think you're perfect in the flesh. So I ain't taking that away from you. That thing's going to buffet you until the day you die, so that you'll know and understand that you are in the flesh, and I ain't taking it away from you. You're going to have it. And we're going to have these problems with our minds and our tongues and our ears and our eyes and our thing. Flicking through the TV and I see something I shouldn't see. Is that a sin? No, unless I flick back or look back. And if I do flick back, look back, I have a Father that will forgive me when